Hippie girl. Gerard's jewelry store is left in my wake as I burst out and step onto Rue de Rivière, stumbling into the day-late street. My shawl conceals my face and hair, but the sun shines upon my dirty grey surtout as if beaming a light upon the Fife. Two burgundy-coated gendarmes feasting upon baguettes are positioned 2 blocks away, momentarily keeping my feet planted to the sidewalk. Gerald clatters out the wooden door of his shop front, tugging the roots of his pepper-coloured curls. "Robbery! A low-life robbery," he calls, his face bubbling the kind of red normally reserved for apples. Every pair of eyes under a top hat, every pair of eyes above a trimmed mustache, and every pair of eyes beneath eyelids lathered in pink and purple eyeshadow peer at me, the swarthy Ipianian girl. Who are they to judge? The gendarmes hear Gerard's calls and drop their baguettes, splattering them onto the ground. They point their noses toward me. "Halt!" That's a dreadful idea. I shove past the fat man eating a sandwich, and the following moosh sound suggests the snack ended up smeared on his face, but I'm not turning to confirm. An alley provides cover to slip into, cool shadows clinging to the grey stone walls and covering the damp cobbles. Running through the alley wisps cold over my skin, a chill of an autumn wind blowing on my face. Stealing is the only trade for an Ipianian girl in La Ciotat. Over 50 applications to be a hairdresser, and all coiffeurs say no, even though their signs say coiffure nécessaire. The alley merges into an evergreen garden square, the sun glimmering from the blue sky above onto the green, yellow and rustic leaves and copious grass of the garden. The crisp garden air makes me smile almost as brightly as the sun. Until footsteps stamp down the alley. "Cease your fleeing, boy," one of the gendarmes calls. At least the greatcoat shawl fooled them into believing me to be male. But there is more chance of a chicken growing teeth than me surrendering the next 6 months of my life to some grim jail. Keeping my shawl wrapped securely across my face, I dash from the garden and head across the street right past 2 clopping draft horses lugging a wagon. One neighs a high-pitched whinny, and I clatter into his shoulder and turn the corner. "Stop!" comes the call, the gendarmes in pursuit. Pleasant bread smells of the Babette Baked Boulangerie whip up as I dash along. And up ahead, moping around the corner, is a sulky-looking kid with hair the color of straw, ragged straw that horses would turn their nose on. Messy, unkempt, showing a lack of self-worth. His chin is stitched to his chest, sniveling away, not watching where he is going. Wait a minute. Those skinny shoulders and scraggy blonde hair were snooping back at Gregory's berries. It's the kid! The blue-eyed kid who couldn't steal a pastry. And he's the perfect decoy. I whip off my dirty surtout and dash toward him. The young man is going to loathe this. Too bad. His head remains down and I smack right into him. He fumbles back and I slip my jacket over his shoulders and in one nimble loop wrap my shawl around his face. "Keep your smelly clothes," the sniveler complains, staring at me. The gendarme steps thump around the corner. Time to go. I kick the kid in the backside, shoving him out toward the officers, and hurry off. An annoying inkling urges me to glance back. The hopeless kid struggles to pull the shawl from his face and stumbles right into the uniformed gendarmes. "Amateur," I whisper. The gendarmes grab him and strip off the dirty coat. "Where is it?" one gendarme asks, face grimacing as if he's about to beat the kid. Sniveling kid stares at them with wide eyes. Where's what? Although it's amusing watching that bumbling boy argue with the strong hand of the law, it's time to forget the sniveling amateur and scram before he blames the hood on me. My flight path takes me to the Place Sadi-Carnot Square. Where to run? Instinctively for comfort, I hop upon the Église Notre-Dame de l'Assomption steps. The building looms above with its almighty bell tower, extended along a long neck from its tiled roof, judging me with its grandeur. No comfort from this place. The church guilts me into stepping from the steps and turning back on the cathedral. Better hide my next act from God. But then I glanced heavenward and whisper, "You watch from up there anyway, not from inside the church." Forget it, girl. Do what you have to. Getting on with what must be done, I slip behind a big wagon packed with straw, an adequate place to reorganize my attire into a lady. My yellow dress straightens up nicely, and then I tie my hair in a bun and carefully stick in the securing pin, ensuring there is no chance of losing the pin. I leave the church with nothing but my fragrance, chin toward the treetops and smiling with innocence. There is little time to enjoy the calm, trickling fountain of the Place Sadi-Cardon, because the two gendarmes have left the kid and now jog up the street puffing like draft horses. One knocks into me and I hold my heart and fake well to the ground. The two dullards stop with a scuff of their boots and return, breathing so heavily it hurts. Hurts me listening to them. One tilts his hat, his mustache perfectly straight. Like all filthy mustaches, it looks like a place you store what runs from your nose. He takes my hand and assists me up, assuming I need men's help. Sorry, my damsel. Dimwit. I dust my backside with a firm hand and realize that the action probably appears a little too tough, and I quit whacking the dust and smile as the officers kiss my hand. Perfectly fine, monsieur, I say like a bourgeois dame. An accident. He tilts my hand, gazes at my wrist. Delightful bracelet. The brown and pink leather band adorns my skin. Merci, monsieur, I say. Someone special made it for me, for my humble self. He nods in acknowledgement, then wipes a few drips of sweat from his forehead. We gotta run, he says, chasing a thief. Have you seen a dirty man in an old coat? So funny. My lips desperately try to crawl into a cheeky smile, but I hold them down and keep in character. Hallmarks of a great actress. I blink slowly, deliberately, trying to extend my lashes if that were all possible, then lengthen my hand on an elegant slant. A man in a filthy coat just raced past. He tripped and fell in the fountain, splashed a pretty girl. He didn't even say sorry, that beast. Hurry, you might catch the monster. Thank you, my lovely damsel. They tip their hats, then scoot away and pass the fountain and disappear into the crowd. Typical ninnies. I dust my hands, congratulate myself for a job well done. Then I reach down into my top, fumble around in my bra, oops, not what I'm after, and then prise out my new bracelet and slip it on. The gold glistens upon my twirling wrist in the afternoon sun. The bracelet is smooth and heavy, a nice, expensive heavy. Feels like I matter just wearing it, like people will expect me upon the sight of the piece of jewelry. Then I glide my fingertips along the pink and brown leather band that Sibylle made for me to keep me safe. I'd trade the gold bracelet in the skip of a heartbeat for another chance to embrace Sibylle. Her bracelet is light and cheap, but always my favorite. When a gift is weighted with love, it outweighs gold. Now, time to find. I glance toward the streets. It reveals a loathsome sight interrupting my thoughts. Is that the amateur? I walk closer, then lean against the corner of a building, watching. It is the amateur! The kid is sitting against the Babette Boulangerie with his legs tucked up and head shoved down as if eating his knees. He appears his snivels are turning into... Surely he's not going to... Oh, he is! There's no time for this embarrassment. I need to find those men who spoke about the heart.